Hello, my dear Aptis students. This is the English version of the course. This is the topic of articles, and we are going to describe them. I hope you understand the examples that I'm going to explain, and I hope everything is okay for now. So let's see how we can begin. The topic for today's lesson is articles. I'm going to start by saying something from here. The three articles in English are a, an, and the. The learner has to decide by noun which one of the articles to use. So, if you are a native speaker, this is going to be very simple. But what if you're not? Those who are learning English as a second language need to understand that there are some rules to understand articles. So I am going to start describing the rules here, and in order for me to describe these rules effectively, you are going to understand and differentiate two concepts, two vital concepts, two important concepts. The first one is when a word is either a count or uncount or non-count word. So let us pay attention to these closely here. Think about a word. I'm going to write here a couple of words. I'm going to do, let me just think about computer, and I'm going to think about, let's say, love, or I'm going to think about another word. I'm going to say car and money. So, I take these words, and I am going to try to add S to all of them. Okay? Then I'm going to see which ones make sense. For instance, I can say one computer, two computers. I can say one love. Actually, the meaning would be very different. So for now, it would be like if I say two loves, three loves, four loves, doesn't actually make that sense to me. But if I say three cards, for example, it would be okay. And it is not the same if I say I have a lot of monies. So if you add an S to a word to make a plural, I'm talking about love as a noun, not as a verb. And if you want to add this S to the word, an S to a word, and still this word does not make sense, that means this word is likely to be an uncountable word. The other case is this one. If I add an S to a word and it would still make sense, like this would be a plural of the word, then the word would be a countable, you can say count noun, which is the one we're going to use here. So making that difference clear, we can start by saying that you cannot say a or an with an uncount noun. So again, if I have a word like air, if I add s, I cannot say one airs, two, three airs, four airs. It doesn't make any sense. So you cannot add a or an to a word that cannot end in s. So I cannot say an air. I have to say some air, a lot of air. So let us think about another one. Information. I cannot say an information. I have to say some information. Number two. I'm going to scroll down a bit so we can actually pay closer attention to number two. And it says, you cannot put a number in front of an uncount noun. You cannot make an uncount noun plural. I just explained that. You use an uncount noun with no article if you mean that thing in general. So let us think about that. Uncount noun with no article if you mean that thing is general. So I say, for example, I'm going to use an uncount noun. I'm going to say, I'm going to use the same word, okay? Money. Money. Money is hard to get. Money is an uncount word, uncount noun in this case. I need no article. I cannot say the money, just money, because I mean it. I want to express this sentence with the general meaning. So I cannot say the money is hard to get because I'm trying to construct a sentence with a general meaning. But I can say, okay, the money I gave you, the money I gave you. Okay, the money I gave you was to buy bread, for example. So in this case, I want to say the money because it is particular. It is the opposite of the general concept that I was trying to convey or explain here. So let's see. It says, you use the with an uncount noun when you are talking about a particular example of that thing. Let us think about this. Love, more love. I think I can use different words. Let us think about another one. I am going to think about the concept of water. Water. So, water is indispensable for life. In this case, water is being understood as something general. And then I say, the water you drink every day, the water you should drink every day, you should drink every day, should be 2 glasses, for example. Every day should be 8 glasses. So I'm thinking about a quantity. And more importantly, I'm thinking about something that is particular. The amount of water you should drink every day. So in that case, we add the article. Only in that case. Okay, then we have these examples. Okay. You can put a number in front of a count noun. You can make a count noun plural, the one I just explained. You can put both a or an and the in front of a count noun. For example, I'm going to think about a word. I'm going to think about book. I can say a book. I can say the book. I can also say the books. The books, it also makes sense. So I can do that too. Then it says, and this is very important, you must put an article in front of a singular count noun. So let's think about a singular word. I say bag. I cannot say I have bag. I have to say I have a bag. I have a bag or I have the bag. But I need an article in front of a singular count noun. Interesting. Then it says, you use a plural count noun with no article if you mean all or any of that thing. So you can use a plural count noun. Plural count noun. So, for instance, I want to mean any or not. For instance, I'd say the people. The people. I'm going to just check up here and say the people of my country, for instance. The people of my country are nice. So I mean everybody in the country. But then I usually say, for example, people are nice here. People are nice here. So those are the two different forms. Then we have here, you use the with count nouns the second and subsequent times you use the noun in a piece of speech or writing. So I use a noun. I say cars are necessary for development. The cars, say, the car's manufacturing process and what I'm doing here is that I'm using the first noun without the article, but if I need to refer to that one, I would need an article to refer to that one. Then it says you use a, not an. It says here when the next word, okay, I think this is the one about phonetics. We can just come back and see what they were trying to say. You use an, not a, when the next word or adverb, adjective, or noun starts with a vowel sound. So you just remember, if you have the word, for instance, eraser, the same word I have been using, you just can say an eraser, not a eraser. There are some exceptions to this rule, but they wouldn't apply for the test we're preparing for now. Now, this is very interesting. I'm going to share this part with you. Here. Some nouns can either be count or uncount depending on the context and meaning. For example, here, do you have paper? I just say, do you have paper? I want to draw a picture. In this case, it would be uncount noun. It would be a sheet of paper. That's what I mean. But then I can say, hey, can you give me a paper? When you are in the shop, meaning a newspaper, for instance. Can you give me a newspaper? Give me a paper. Give me the paper. Can I read the paper? So in that case, paper would mean newspaper, not just a piece of paper. Then I have here another one. You want to be patient. I'm going to try to do this manually then. So we also say that if we use some certain phrases like a lot of, a piece of, a bottle of, a grain of, we have to have an article. Okay? I can say, for instance, the bottle of, a bottle of, so I need an article in this case. And here are some good examples. This is for us to pay close attention to. It says you use an uncount noun with no article if you mean all or any of that thing. For instance, I can say, hey, I need help. I want water. I don't eat cheese. Do you like music? So you shouldn't say, I need the help. I don't eat the cheese. Or do you like the music? Because you're not talking about something in particular. You're describing the concept in general. But then you use that with an uncount noun when you're talking about a particular example. So you say, for instance, in this case, I'm going to show it here. Look at this example. We can say, thanks for the help. For the help you gave me yesterday. So I am being particular in this case. I didn't eat the cheese. It was green. That particular cheese. Did you like the music they played at the dance? So in that case, you want to remember it is all about something particular. Number 3. You usually use a or an with a count noun the first time you say or write that noun. For example, can I borrow a pencil, please? There's a cat in the garden. Do you have an MP3 player? But what happens if you use the same context, the same words, but I want to make in particular? So I can say, where is the pencil that I lent you yesterday? So you know what I am referring to. I think the cat belongs to the new neighbors. I dropped the MP3 player. So when I mention the object, I am referring to an object the listener already knows. And here is this good example. It says you use a plural count noun with no article if you mean all or any of that. For example, I don't like dogs in general. Do they have children in general? I don't need questions. Give me answers. It's a good quote. So, the above rules apply. I'm going to read it here so you can also read. The above rules apply when there is or there is not an adjective in front of the noun. So, let's think about this one here. I don't eat German cheese. We don't say, I don't need the German cheese. Is it still common? A common concept. Can I borrow a red pencil, please? So in this case, I want it to be specific. I want that red pencil in this case. There is an extremely large cat. An extremely large cat. I am describing this particular cat. Or, I don't like small, noisy children. Children in general, I just don't like this kind of children, but I don't like all the children in general. So this is all for now. It is simple. You just want to double check these concepts because these are the ones you're going to use in your next video. Let us keep in touch and study hard.